Hey guys, it's Aaliyah with Open Doors, Open Hearts blog. And today I'm really excited to share some fall decorating ideas with you. I'm going to try and focus mostly on some simple ways to add pumpkins to your home decor. So when I decorate for fall and when I'm decorating with pumpkins, I want it to be simple and easy. That's just the way I like all of my home decor, and so pumpkins are no different. So the first idea that I have for decorating with pumpkins that I really like is adding pumpkins beside plants. I feel like it's a very natural thing. Like pumpkins come from outside in nature, same as the plants. And so putting pumpkins and mums or pumpkins and kale together just makes sense. I will do this outside on the front porch, and I will also do this inside with a bouquet of flowers or just whatever stems I go out and bring in for the year. Another thing that I like to do is mix real pumpkins and faux pumpkins. I think it's a really good way to add in some of like the real element of the pumpkins, so that the faux pumpkins just kind of like mix in with the real pumpkins, if that makes sense. But a real pumpkin can be kind of heavy, and they all grow different and they all look different, which is part of the reason I like to decorate with real pumpkins. But it does make it a little bit harder to put things exactly the way you want them. So mixing in some faux pumpkins will make it so that when you step back and look at what you've done with your mixture of real and fake pumpkins, it's easy to get the look that you're going for, because the fake pumpkins are just easier to move where you want them. On that note, the reason I like to decorate with real pumpkins is because real pumpkins are edible. We will cook our real pumpkins, puree our real pumpkins, and then turn them into soup or pie or pumpkin roll. So that is a big reason why I like to decorate with real pumpkins, because I'm spending money on something that we are going to actually use, and it's not going to just become a piece of decor. So speaking of faux pumpkins, one of my favorite ways to decorate with faux pumpkins is DIY pumpkins. So I have DIY'd a few different styles of pumpkins over the years, and I will link in the description box. I will add links to either the YouTube video or the blog post. I don't have videos for all of these pumpkins, but I will add them in the link below, so that if you're, I will add them into I will add them in the description box below, just in case you're interested in how I did it with any of these DIY pumpkins. But the one thing I really like about DIY pumpkins is that you can turn it into whatever you want it to. So last year I stuck with a more earthy, neutral color palette for my fall decor, and I'm going to do that again this year, just because I have a bunch of this stuff already, and when I go forage for things, that's what I'm going to find outside. So for the way I like to decorate, sticking with that earth tone color palette is really helpful. But a couple years ago, I wanted to do something a little different, and I made these fabric pumpkins, and I put real pumpkin stems on them from the year before. I just hot glued them on. And so I was able to add a little pop of color to my fall decor that year in a super easy way, just by adding these little purple pumpkins. And maybe you don't want to do purple, maybe you want to do navy blue or sky blue or a burgundy. You know, you can do that really easily and just pick what you want. And these were so cheap and inexpensive to make. I got this fabric in the discount section at Joann Fabrics. I honestly don't remember the price. I just remember being like, holy smokes, that was so cheap. So I'll put this in the description box below. Another DIY pumpkin I've done are these sweater pumpkins. They have a little bit of more texture to them than the purple fabric pumpkins. And then for these, I just hot glued a stick as the stem. So I have this color, and then I have a darker one that I had, a sweater. If you don't have a sweater that you don't like to wear, if you love all your clothes, another thing you could do is just go to the thrift store and see if you can find a cheap sweater that you could turn into something new, you know, kind of repurpose it. And then the last DIY pumpkins that I have made are these air dry clay pumpkins. They were inspired by the Pottery Barn pumpkins from last year in their fall catalog. I don't know if they're in their fall catalog this year or not, but I love these. Part of the reason I think I like these so much is because I enjoyed making them. I like sewing. Sewing's fine. It's not like my favorite thing. I'm not like amazing at sewing, but I can sew a button. I actually did. I just sewed a button on my daughter's dress that she pulled off. So I can sew a button on, but I'm not like splendid at sewing. But this was a little bit, it felt like there was a little bit more creative freedom in taking air dry clay and turning it into different pumpkins. So I love these. These are also very simple and very much my style. So that's also part of the reason I like them. And they've held up. So I made them last year, stored them for the whole year, and they still look the way they did before. So that's 1 year evaluation on how those turned out. They are holding up. And then the last thing, this is technically not faux, it's real, but it's a gourd. And as a gourd like dries out, like if you plant gourds in your garden, like as they dry out, they will turn into this hard shell of a thing, and then the seeds are inside. I get mine from the neighbor down the road. She is also where I will buy my real pumpkins from each year, and a lot of times my mom's too. She just has kind of like a little farm, and then she takes a weekend in the fall, and she has a big party up there basically, and then she sells a bunch of stuff. So we go up there, and I always end up buying a gourd or two, and then the mums and the pumpkins. And I like the gourds simply because they have an earthy tone color. They feel like fall, and so I just really like them. The neighbor will decorate them. She paints them and turns them into a birdhouse. So you could also, if you wanted to, paint them and do whatever you want with them. I like to just clean them up and leave them the way that they look naturally. One of my favorite ways to style pumpkins is literally to just like plunk them down on the counter or put them down on a table, like just literally just like whoop, set it down. I think it just looks really, really good. And especially in the kitchen, I will always have pumpkins on my kitchen counter because it makes sense to me to put a pumpkin on the kitchen counter because I'm gonna be cutting it up soon and cooking with it, and that all happens in the kitchen. So as far as I'm concerned, there's really no easier way to decorate with a real pumpkin especially than to set it on the counter. The other thing that's nice about pumpkins on the counter that are real is you can see the pumpkin and you can see how it's aging, and you can go, oh no, it's definitely time. We need to start eating this pumpkin. It's getting a bad spot here, or whatever. So I love just the ease of putting a pumpkin in the corner or like off to the side on a kitchen counter. It looks like fall, it feels like fall, and it's so easy. This was just a really fun thing that I did last year, two years ago. I did it 2 years ago. I turned a pumpkin into a vase for flowers. I don't know that I'll be doing that again this year. It is a little bit more like over the top and not quite as simple as the way that I like to do things sometimes. But I also feel like when I do a table setting, I tend to go over the top for some reason on my table settings. I just have fun when I'm setting up different table scapes and just doing the things. So I took a real pumpkin and I used it as a base for some flowers. The last idea that I'm going to share for easy and simple ways to decorate with pumpkins or gourds this year for fall is just putting them in a basket or in a bowl. It is really so simple to do that. And I find it to be like an easy way to do something like on the coffee table. I've done pumpkins in bowls on the coffee table. Last year, I actually did air dry clay leaves that I put a little gilding wax on, and I did leaves and different acorns and things that we foraged for outside. So not specifically pumpkins, but I thought it turned out really cute anyway. But another thing is baskets. You guys know I have a basket obsession, and so a basket with pumpkins kind of like overflowing out of them, I love that. I think that it's very natural looking, but I also like to do it with like a single pumpkin. I think just putting a single pumpkin like in a bowl on the table, or I'd like to do it in the kitchen in those copper bowls that I use that are just decorations and not anything else. It's a super simple way to just add a little pop of some fall decor without going like over the top and feeling like, oh my goodness, I can't make this like cluster of pumpkins in a bowl look the way I want it to. You can always just do one pumpkin in the bowl and it looks super cute. Okay, so the last thing I want to share with you guys, this is not pumpkins at all, but I feel like every year I forget to tell you guys about this. One year I remembered. So pillowcases are one of my favorite ways to like change out for the seasons. And I really like these like Turkish rug pillows that have a little bit of texture to them. And I buy them from the same place on Etsy every year in the fall, like late summer, early fall, like right now. I just ordered them 2 days ago. She has a huge sale and they're 70% off. It's the only time I've seen her do this sale. I'm not looking for pillow covers in January, so it's possible she does it other times. But right now, while I'm recording this, she is doing the sale. I literally just checked right now. So the sale is still going on. If for whatever reason it's not going on anymore, I just want you guys to have this link to her Etsy account. I get nothing for this. She does not even know that I exist. But I love her pillow covers. I find them to be great quality and they look the way I want them to look, and they are so stinking cheap. These 20 by 20 pillow covers I just ordered, I think they were $7.50 for one of them. So, which is a great price, especially when you compare it to other different people that are making these rugs. Turning rugs into pillows. So I've gotten a white one. There's that one. And then this one here. So this one, I pulled this one out to remind myself to tell you, these rugs are made out of, these pillow covers are made out of rugs. So all of the other ones that I shared with you are super soft, and a lot of the reviews say that the pillow covers are super soft. This is the only one, and I bought some for Christmas too. When she has this sale, I will sometimes buy fall ones and I'll buy Christmas ones just so that I have what I want for that year, you know. But the year I bought these, I think I bought these last year or the year before. At any rate, I love the way they look. I love the pattern on these, but it does feel like a rug. And so I thought it would be okay, but it's one of those pillows when I put this one on the couch that everyone knows, even the girls, like we take it off the couch when we snuggle, just because it is really rough. It's even kind of stiff, like to bend it, it's kind of stiff. So check the reviews on your stuff. It is a rug, but if you're looking for that texture and some of that like vintage feel on a pillow, and a really, really good price, those are the pillowcases to get. That is all I have for today. If you like this video, I hope that you hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll see you next time.